The number of people suffering from neurodevelopmental disorders is staggering. Some researchers and educators feel certain standard and traditional approaches, such as applied behavioral analysis and occupational and speech therapy, do not address the whole person or the magnitude and diversity of challenges faced by these individuals. Although they may behave, communicate, and interact differently than others, the neurodivergent have the capacity to learn, develop, and grow all through their lives. And the best way to educate students with disabilities begins with a level of dignity and respect, as well as trust between the school team and the family.
Neurodiverse students require an individualized, creative, and innovative approach to education. One of the biggest challenges when we look at education, people want to follow traditional norms, you go to a classroom, the focus is on attuning to whatever the teacher says or to a structure. For students who are neurodiverse who may have other needs, this type of setting doesn't work very effectively. Oftentimes we look for what is called a silver bullet. We really want that set in stone that works for everyone, but that's not the case for the neurodiverse child. We really need this individualized piece. Every child has the capacity to learn. They have the willingness. So through the IWBMC, or the interpersonal whole brain model of care, that loving piece is what is critical. Learning is not just limited to a classroom. We are in this beautiful location. We can utilize so much of that, but then once you leave, we also want you to be able to take what you've learned. We want to teach others who are working in the support network how to support that child when they are outside of this beautiful setting.
This is a nonprofit and accredited private school and therapy center serving infants through adults. Its interpersonal whole brain model of care, a 1-to-1 staff-to-client ratio, is designed to help break down the silos between healthcare and education and bring hope, healing, and a path forward for those who need it most.
The mission of the Jacob's Ladder Group is to provide hope, healing, and the possibility of transformation for anyone who is challenged with a neurobiological disorder. So many diagnostic categories of individuals fall within what we call the neurobiologically challenged.
Amy Odell basically founded this principle and tested it, you could say, but developed it in her work with her own son, Jacob.
When he was little, there was so much fear, not really knowing what to do to help him maximize his potential. They said, don't worry about educating him, think about life skills instead. It's like, how am I ever going to teach him? Long division. And now fast forward, he's 31 years old, and he is the most self-assured, confident, solid human being who teaches and interfaces with kids and teenagers who shared or had the life experience that he's had. It felt like an imperative to take what we had learned that we feel so passionate about beyond the walls of this campus in Roswell, Georgia. The Jacob's Ladder model, the IWBMC, we say is the union of science and love. Our job is to create an environment of safety, compassion, radical acceptance, not only because it's the right thing to do, but back to the scientific side, it elicits neurochemicals in the brain that allow for transformation to take place.
By harnessing the ability of the brain to heal and develop new capacities, this approach care may help improve the lives of everyone in the neurodiverse community. With the right collaborative support, neurodivergent young people can succeed in school and in life.
Over the last 30 years, over 4,000 lives have been impacted by the work of Jacob's Ladder. We have been able to transform the educational process for students affected by everything from stroke to trauma to genetic disorders. There are a couple of cases that are just amazing to see and have demonstrated some significant improvement. Simple measures, simple improvements. But when we look across at the 4,000 lives that are impacted, we do have a great deal of data that we would love to share with the world to really begin to see how we're shaping and how we're moving the needle in this area.
Through the union of science and love, tremendous growth is possible. And by harnessing the extraordinary ability of the brain to heal and develop new capacities, this care approach improves the lives of everyone in the neurodiverse community. It's a better model with better outcomes.
I'm no scientist, I'm no doctor, but I know, as countless others can testify to that, the program works. It can't just come to school and go home. This is a 24/7 learning experience. Harry is just one of the results of this experience. He was probably about a year and a half, maybe a little bit before Carol, my wife, and I noticed that he would no eye contact, nonverbal. He was diagnosed on the spectrum of autism. And she said, I heard about Jacob's Ladder. Carol called, made an appointment with Amy. I felt like doors had been opened to a cure for Harry. I felt in my heart, this is where he needs to be.
I know when I was 2, I wasn't talking, but after the first few months I was at Jacob's Ladder, I started talking.
All of a sudden, he had some verbal ability and started making eye contact. The change was very obvious, and it just got better and better and better.
The future of the organization, it's about getting the word out, getting the message out, because the mission is to provide hope, healing, a way forward, the possibility of transformation.
They became family to me. I relate to them. They can do anything you put your mind to. I never thought I'd be a teacher, but then
we know that people will need to see data. They'll need to see proof. 3 decades of outcomes, 3 decades of thousands of individuals' transformation journeys are all housed here within the Jacob's Ladder group. So our intention is to analyze, write about, continue our research and discovery, and then share it with the greater community so that it helps to inform the larger conversation.
Proof's in the pudding, or proof's in Harry, I should say. You can't find this remedy in a book. You can't find it in a library. It's a love remedy, and it comes from here. It's phenomenal.
With our revolutionary interpersonal whole brain model of care, we're changing the conversation from the impossible to the possible. We are here to help. Learn more today about Jacob's Ladder, grounded in science, guided by love. For program information or how to donate, visit thejacobsladdergroup.org or call 244-HOPE now.